I'm shocked, disappointed, hurt. And I have to admit that in all of my years, I've never experienced a hurt like a heartbreak like this before. I'm not angry at the person. I'm not upset because I understand what is going on when we have things in our lives that affect how our nervous systems respond to things in life. I've spent many years, I always say that it's a heal. Like from here on out, if you're an American, most likely you've experienced a lot of trauma from the material world that we're living in. We have access to access, and if you think that it doesn't have a negative effect on your, like, who you are and how we end up treating each other, unfortunately, there are repercussions for the way that we've been living. And that's not to say that we're not to live our lives, treat people well, be nice, be sincere, be genuine, be honest, all right? And learn to forgive yourself. And in that event, you don't have to worry about forgiving other people. We live in that light, right? But there are things in this universe that try to take that from you. So here we are, and it's a really interesting thing because I have no resentment. I have no that resentment and anger. I simply take it, or sadness. I don't really have anger, but the sadness, I have to take it and redirect that energy towards me and realize that I've been living in a place of lacking and needing reassurance instead of a place of abundance, and I have to get back to that. So this has not become about that person. They are going to have to wake up one day in their life, and I wish them the best and all the peace, love, and joy that I know everyone seeks in their lives. I hope they get that. And what I do know is that this was one of the most traumatic experiences that I've faced. And now, I was more of a secure person. I can't imagine someone who really isn't aware. They're not at that level of awareness yet to have self-reflected on themselves and taking responsibility for even themselves. And so these people with these avoidant discards, if you are on the receiving end of it, it is a brutally traumatic thing. And you can't help but wonder. They say that up to 25% of the population in America have some form of avoidant attachment style. And if you look at these the fantasy romance smut novels, if you look into those things, the authors of those books actually pander to these attachment style tropes, these psychological tropes. So they're basically pandering to people's childhood trauma. All right, so a person's able to actually escape into fulfilling these emotionally and romantically intimate scenes and narratives without having to invest any emotional responsibility themselves. And so do you see where this dynamic comes into play? You're not giving it to your partner because you fear it, yet you can find it within the books. And other things, it's not just the books. There are other ways that people find their emotional, intimate relief. When you're not in love with someone else, for example, you find it easier to be yourself for a short period of time because you're able to stay secure or hidden from those people, that you can keep at arm's length. But when it's an intimate person close to you that you know you're going to eventually have to share things, otherwise the love is not reciprocated, you're not sharing anything, and therefore you're not sharing the same experience. It's two different people and two different experiences. And so this is what we're facing in this world today, where we have these attachment things, these tropes, and you have two people with two different identities trying to protect themselves, but at the same time, one's willing to be open and honest and loving and sincere. Not to say that I didn't overstep boundaries myself. I certainly did. And those were times when you become anxious and emotional, and when you catch yourself doing it, it's not comfortable because you're confronting something with probably poor timing. You're probably not saying whatever it is you're trying to say. You're not saying it the way that you would like to have said it. And and then you go back and you say, man, okay, I failed with my management, my emotional management. And obviously with that, I'm failing at managing this relationship that I'm trying to build. And when you have a person actually say to you, I feel like you're trying to tear me down brick by brick. And that is one of the most, I know they didn't mean to be hurtful, but my response was, no, I'm actually trying to let you into my life and build something with you. I'm not trying to tear you down. I'm trying to build a home with you. And this is what conversation I'm trying to have with you. And it was past the point of no return from that point forward. And it's very sad. And it's a very hurtful experience. I've never felt anything like it. And that's not being dramatic. So for those of you out there